on January 20th.
Move to approve the January meeting minutes.
Oh, one second.
I second.
All in favor? Aye. Awesome. Kenna sent out an update, but I don't think that she mentioned the service awards in minutes. Okay, so what she did. The only thing that she mentions regarding service awards. Well, I'll just update them. I'll just do an update on all of Kenna's stuff right now. So Kenna sent out an email with all of the Summerfest spot works. It's not very long yet, but if you need anything specific, it's reach out to her. She can use the specific ones that are just gonna start writing out the right more. And then one big change we had is that the car show and family barbecue business showcase that's at the Sierra is switching from Wednesday to Monday. And the previously called kickoff event, Storyteller Festival, is going at the mall. It's switching to Wednesday, and it needs a new name. It's no longer the kickoff event, it's now the car show is the kickoff event. So if anyone has any great ideas for a name for our Storyteller name,
Is that a permanent?
yeah, I mean, I don't think it's a permanent change. Thank you.
Oh.
I think it was a scheduling conflict.
Yeah, I also like, not to take over, but with the party, so we had a storyteller lined up that is no longer able to come anymore.
Oh, bummer.
So then we were working on a second one, but it sounds like BYU doesn't want, or BYU was originally all in, but they have changed their mind now. I'm waiting to hear back from BYU, but what if we did like someone local? Like, do we always get someone that's far away that we bring out to summer
I've had Sam Payne before.
Okay.
and they've like,
I mean, they've been good. I mean,
Can we just pause on our update for just 1 second really quick? Because we actually need to introduce Bryce to all of us, introduce all of us to Bryce. So
While
Bryce is our
I'm
new
at my
speaker.
most vulnerable moment, getting beat up by technology right now. Outsmarted by a smart TV.
If we don't report tonight, I'll just put on.
It's for sure, it is for sure recorded. We're just, oh, there we go. We just want to make sure as we go through some budget numbers. I'm Bryce Merrill. I am the city's new Leisure Services Director. As part of that, I'll have the opportunity to work with y'all here as part of our Summerfest Committee and all of our city events, in addition to responsibilities at the Recreation Department and at the Library Department. So Stephen and I had a chance to debrief a couple of times, Kenna and I as well, but obviously I am more than excited to be here with y'all today and support however I can. And I look to y'all's leadership, especially on things that I don't know and things that I don't know yet. So hopefully we can get me up to speed as quickly as possible and support y'all and make this a great event. So I was going to jump in really quick on the permanency of the change. It's a 1 year in 7 change due to a ongoing scheduling conflict that the car show has with another city that only happens when our Summerfest is on the first Monday of June instead of the second Monday of June or something like that. So this is the 1 year in 7 that happens, hence the change. So next year it should work to be that we have the priority on the normal night that we have.
okay. Well, the mall's totally fine with switching it. They said they'd block out that whole week for Summerfest, so.
and then I thought we could just go around and introduce ourselves.
It'd be so valuable, absolutely.
Okay, so I'm going to go first. I'm Liz Woolf, and I'm the chair.
and I'm Christie Ekins. I'm over Booty. Debby Lauret, City Council Liaison. Shelly Seastrand with the talent show.
Kat Bleyl, and I'm over VIP hospitality at February Breakfast.
While I'm over the hot dog and piping.
And I'm Ashlie Coleman, and I'm kickoff party.
Dalsing with Parks.
Tim?
Strong Beukers.
Parks?
Jim Moore with Parks and also food vendors. Trevor after purchasing and finance.
Jill Linder, clerical from the Public Works. Lauret Bascom.
And the last one, Tyler Peay, I'm the Public Services Division Manager, and I'll be overseeing the budget.
Awesome. Okay. sorry to interrupt the updates for that real quick, but, we'll come back to that in just a minute, that's okay with you. Okay, and then our update from Kenna regarding the service awards. What she mentioned in her email about the service awards is that she is suggesting one of the people for the awards, and I'm not sure, I mean, I know that other people get awards, like the Spirit Award winners and stuff, she doesn't really mention those, but that we give Stephen an award for all of his years of service for Summerfest, so. Yeah, I know, it's a good
I
idea.
think that's very fabulous idea.
Okay, so now we will just go down our, reports. So Shelly.
I got nothing.
It's too early.
Yeah, and I really don't have anything until about a month before.
When do you set the sign-ups out?
About a month before, maybe a little earlier than that. But- And Pete and I work together really well on it.
I want to be a judge, so I'm just.
I've got one judge here, so,
Was it a good show last year? I didn't make it.
yeah, it was really good.
Are you gonna put it out to the junior highs and high schools again?
Probably,
That's awesome.
yeah. I mean, did everyone else think it was good that saw it?
I'm not talent last year, but the year before was good.
That was the
Some of
one
the
that
women-
we had something already.
Well,
so
you
we
just
put
missed
that one
out.
down.
Missed out.
You'll have to hear that one thing and everything. Oh,
Yeah. You know, every year you learn something, you know.
I know my daughter's junior high is doing their junior high has got talent next week, and so I was like, oh, hey, it's on my mind, and so I'm like, hey, are you doing the junior high and high school?
Conquer talent, you know.
Oh,
Well,
well,
maybe
maybe
the-
the life skills class, so she.
and maybe the winner would want to come do it. If they have a winner.
Well, then that's why I'm like, contact the junior highs
Yeah,
and
We're
the
gonna
high
have
schools,
this
because I
first
think there's.
Yeah, maybe the top 3 people. would be
They're
good.
doing that
Which
this
junior
time
high is it?
of year. It's Oak Canyon Junior High, they're just on the London border.
Okay, Christie.
I've gotten lots of emails from the people who are requesting for spaces in the boutique. So, and Ashlie and I will go over things here in a week or two, and she'll show me how she did it all, so,
And what is your cutoff deadline?
that's sometime.
Okay, good, I like that deadline.
Yeah. Maybe April, but-
Okay, yeah, very cool. Jim,
Okay, as of this, our application page is open. And as of this morning, we've had 34
Oh, wow.
applications for food vendors.
How many can you
Very surprised by the number of people that want a double space, like 20 by 10 instead of a 10 by 10. Financially, that's great because they're paying $1,400 per space instead of $700. But our problem is we don't have enough space to put a whole bunch of 20-footers in there. So most likely, we're going to have to cap the amount of food vendors at roughly 20. Instead, last year we had 24. And we're going to be at 20 this year in order to accommodate some of the bigger ones. But it closes on March 12th, at which point we'll start going through and figuring out who we want to bring in, who we don't, and who would best fit our space and power requirements, that kind of thing. Right now, about 75% of them are repeats who have been with us before. 25% are either new or have never been with us before. So I always like to try to get a couple new ones every year, just a little variety. And overall, I need to make sure if we cap it at 20, I'm worried about getting lower than that because that doesn't give us the variety we need. So I think we're going to have to figure out how to get 20 in there no matter what.
sounds great. I would just think that, capping it at 20, going to fewer vendors than last year, just make sure there aren't like 6 different cotton candy vendors, you know, like.
Oh, yeah, that's
there's
always a
variety,
priority.
you know.
We try never to have more than 2 of the exact same kind.
Will that affect like the lines for food?
Yeah, it could affect them. Could very well could, but Tim and I and John, we might sit down and see if there's something different we can do in the arrangement of the food court. I doubt it, because we've thought about that so many times before and nothing really works out. So we're probably looking at that number of about 20.
So, I know the boutiques already have some applications, but have you ever thought about using those end caps of boutiques for food vendors?
It's power
Yeah.
location mainly, that's the hard part to get in. What they require is
a lot more than we did sometimes, we'll max it out with everybody else. So
Okay.
we gotta figure that out.
We have several years. We put, 1 year, where the information goes. A couple years ago, we put, I think we had 2, we had chocolate, dip strawberry, people fruit solo, I think was their name, if I remember right.
That sounds good.
We have that down, we've had Coleman Ice down there before.
But we could always do the information booth and put
Yeah.
some over there. Yeah, they're definitely away from the others, but
Yeah, I was just gonna say, can we put some like on the other side of the park?
I just
Well,
don't know how
it
much
comes back
business-
down to power. Then what we have to do, in order to do that, we have to say, okay, you can bring your own generator in. With 2 out of every 3, that's good, but 1 is going to have the generator sold out, it's gonna drive everybody crazy. So we just look at all those variables as we get closer. I should have a pretty good feel for exactly what we're going to do by the next meeting.
Another one, I can keep in mind is that the carnival people have their own food that they provide as well. And I feel like sometimes, we end up like, I see like that exact same, they do like the funnel, what are these called, the funnel things, and so like this, to keep in mind to make sure that when you're doing your no more than 2, they're including the one the carnival's providing.
I do have one question. I have somebody that I told them they should apply to the Summerfest. He makes his own gelato and he was at the farmer's market during the summertime.
Okay.
And he had a couple of questions I didn't know how to answer them. He asked, do we know the average attendance of the event? Are there very many different food vendors? And some festivals he's been at seemed that 3/4 of the booths were food vendors. So I didn't know if that was like boutiques for the food vendors or he had just at the farmer's market, he had just a cart.
Yeah, there are
So I
no
didn't know
food
if he would
vendors.
be a food vendor or if he would be a
But
boutique.
he doesn't need power?
I don't think so because he had his gelato in his cart, but I don't know if carts did the.
In the past, we haven't prevented that because then the food vendors are starting to think, okay, I just paid $700 for my spot and he's down there selling his food. And I don't know what the boutiques are this year, 100 or what. Yeah, so there's that, and we're trying to avoid that conflict between the cost.
Food's gotta be food
Yeah,
in the food vendor section.
So it wouldn't be gelato.
Well, because July, just gotta do the food vendor permit, not a boutique permit. So it's gotta be set at that.
But I'm saying you could add someone like him who doesn't need power at the end somewhere, you know what I'm saying?
yeah, that's a
Because the
possibility.
power's always
Tell
a
him
problem.
to put in, now we can talk to him, tell him to put in a food application, a food vendor application. And we'll go through it, we'll look at it and just see what we got there.
Okay.
I feel like in the boutiques I've seen like little like chocolates and little like things like that though.
So like that.
Yeah.
I
like,
think
straight
handcrafted food items like that have been permitted in the past.
Okay.
But somebody actually selling an actual food product that
Like
is
gelato.
somewhat competition with what's in the food court.
And I don't know how the county would really feel about that if they're doing an inspection process of.
Yeah, that's awesome, yeah,
Person's thing.
so.
But then
But what I'll try to do is I'll try to send out the list of my, like maybe top 30 picks or top 25 picks before the meeting next month. And probably only be watch for your email like just the day before, because it is only got like 2 days to get it all ready. And then we can kind of discuss that a little more next meeting.
Okay, so great.
So as far as the average attendance of the event, do you know?
Thousands.
Yeah.
Lots.
My friend.
I know it's lots.
3
but I'm
days
like,
of,
I don't know.
3 days of 10,000 plus people. So it's-
Yeah, my friend, her mom does boutiques when she did like Provo, Orem, Linden, she did a bunch of different places here. And she said that Summerfest was the best one, that it was like the easiest one to get a booth at, and then it had the most people and the most exposure.
Okay.
That people come.
Okay, I'll let him know and I'll tell him to
Whether the-
apply and then
You
whatever
can
happens,
give me,
happens.
you can give me my email if you want to email me.
Okay, I'll give him your email and have
Okay,
him.
sounds good. Good.
Cause I'm like, I'm just first, well, just gelato at farmer's market and I said, hey, we should do this at Summerfest.
We love our ice cream, it's all stuff.
That's why I'm like.
Sign me up,
do
sign me
Summerfest.
up.
She might be putting ice cream for the storytelling thing, but it has to be one.
Yeah.
Okay, so Annie is not here, but she texted me. She didn't give me an update on her event, so I don't have an update on that, but she did say that she wants to know the, times of the carnival. I don't know exactly what means by that. We were talking about like
new.
we were saying new on Friday and Saturday, but last month we were discussing whether to do it at 4 on Thursday or
Well, she
2 on
should have her
Thursday.
classes a little bit.
Exactly, because Thursday's supposed to be the kid day, and so she does the crafts, I think she does the crafts all 3 days, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And so if the carnival is opening at noon, but if the carnival's not opening until 4, she would need to be at 4. So.
Has anyone seen the contract for the carnival?
I think it is no longer a family night on Thursday.
Right.
We've gone
Yeah,
12 o'clock to,
So 12 to
12 to 10.
12 to 10, all 3 days.
Yes, I think that's right.
All right,
Yeah.
let's see, and I don't know anything about, any updates from John other than we changed the night of the car show. I did see some emails from him that was giving thumbs up, everything was going good, so everything's going good, we'll call that.
Kenna emailed out the hospitality tenants. We have applied to the Smiths for their thing again. And I forgot the other, somebody's doing salads for the VIP tent, and that's all we have so far. And then the Rotary breakfast, they take care of themselves, they're good to go.
Was it last year that you had the Chick-fil-A sandwiches, are they doing that again this year?
I haven't heard from Chick-fil-A yet.
Oh, with apple spice.
Apple
Like
spice.
right now.
So an apple spice does good salads.
That's
So
good.
we'll have salads and hopefully we get Smiths and then we can have subs and chips and stuff.
Sounds great.
Nate is not here, but Jill, did you say that he sent you an update or just let everything go? Everyone is moving through. We're still planning on the baby contest being at the rec center. The baby contest being at the center. Ashley, would you like to continue with your updates?
Yes.
Sorry, I cut you off.
You're okay. So yeah, I need a storyteller. I'm working with Sam at BYU, but it's been kind of hard because it seems like a lot of the people that they want to bring can't come to Summerfest this year. Like, I don't know what it is about this year. But it's hard. So I didn't know if we like knew local people maybe that would want to come, like.
There are a few storytellers that are in the library. One of them I'm thinking of is my neighbor, Jessup, but I don't.
I think you'd be interested, like.
Well, they do it at this library, so I don't know. Do you have any idea, feel for? They usually pay to bring, just like
Yeah.
someone out.
Yeah, so we usually split the costs with BYU. And it sounds like BYU still wants to come in and like do the sound and everything too, because they liked their sponsorship that they got last year. And we could still have Sam and his dad come and play. Like, I think they do a really good job and everybody likes them. I just didn't know if like this year it's gonna be different. Last year, the food thing that we tried was kind of a hot mess. It
Like
like,
the churros or which
No,
one?
it was all of that.
like the lines, I got a lot of people that told me the lines were just insane and that like,
It would have been better if we just had it in a row and you just kind of went with everybody.
yeah. So and I know we're trying to kind of like change things up a little bit and make our events bigger this year. So since it's not the kickoff party, do we want to do something like about Orem, like maybe get someone local that comes in and tells like, I don't know, Orem stories or like,
I think you need to talk to the library because
okay,
they do have a story and super, talk.
yeah.
But like I said, I know that they do storytelling as part of their kids programs. I know that, I'm just saying you might be able to find a kid storyteller and like a
I don't
teen
know.
storyteller and maybe, I don't know.
See, that's kind of tricky when you have stories on the library, but I mean, if you have to find a cute way to spotlight it, but if you have like multiple storytellers that each took like 10 or 15 minutes.
And I almost wonder if like maybe Annie and I could partner and like if it's a kids one, there's like a craft thing that they do because the mall posts stuff like that all the time. And where it's not the like there's not as much pressure, right? It's not like the big kickoff party. So I don't know if we want to make it more like centered, like maybe Nero's there in front of the Chick-fil-A cap.
It would be fun to have, when they did the 100-year thing, who was someone dressed up as Mr. Orem. No?
Well, we have our song that David Osmond can sing.
Yeah.
Before it's 31:00. No.
You're talking about like the,
Or maybe like a
but
children's
like the
bar.
like activities, like you can have stuff like that where it's more interactive with the crowd
Yeah.
instead of just.
I mean, the
Are they
stories geared to the children.
So last year, like it's all, those kickoff parties always been like a more grown up event, right?
Yeah.
Come to Timpanogos storytellers.
Yeah.
But see, I'm just thinking they would have some, maybe 3 years
So I don't
ago,
know,
there
like-
was a local
Oh, sorry.
guy that, sorry, I cannot remember his name, but he was fabulous. But I can't remember his name.
Sam?
He called,
I think it might have been Sam.
Is he?
And I think Chad Lewis did one.
was he from like
Chad Lewis did a story.
Like, cause I just think maybe if we get someone local, we don't have to spend as much money bringing them out, we can put more money into having like a craft with storyteller, or even like, I don't know, I could talk to Jared at the mall, cause the mall does a lot of really fun, like they have Harry Potter's birthday and they have a lot of stuff that they bring in, so I don't know, maybe there's.
I like the idea of keeping it local. That sounds really fun. Like,
But like to make it more like, I don't know, like what about, our kids volunteer at the Sierra, and I feel like the Sierra has so much stuff, maybe the Sierra comes in and,
oh my gosh, it's so fun.
and does like something, I don't know. But I didn't know how much we wanted
We
to
could call it
change
Orem Stories,
Uh-huh.
because the city does a thing with the Arts Council, Orem Stories. And
Yeah.
then people put about different people, but
Cause Orem is like artsy, right? Like, and I didn't realize how much that played into it until my daughter started volunteering at the Sierra. So I didn't know.
What if you did like,
Was it Antonio?
I like that stuff.
SAC.
he was good, the local
Stories,
Is he local?
No.
Okay, he's not local. Sorry, looking through past magazines.
No, that was a good idea.
I would start with the library, I personally have a conversation with the library to see if they have some, and then maybe an Adam at
So
Sierra.
Sam Peay is our contact at BYU. That's why I email with
Yeah. And he has a band and he does.
Yeah.
He does storytelling.
So I wonder if he would want to just like do it all this year. I could totally ask.
Since our theme this year is Be the One, you can kind of play around with that theme and being Orem focused, like make Orem the one, you know, something along those lines, like.
Is there a veteran that we want a holiday?
Oh,
Or a highlight?
that's a good idea. Yeah.
Like that.
Well, you could reach out to the American Legion, ask them if they have anyone in their ranks who happens to also be a storyteller.
Oh, that would be fun. Yeah. So I wasn't sure like if we wanted to kind of change it a little bit. That sounds like
Well, if you can't get a national storyteller, I think you have to do local, so.
Yeah.
It would be good.
it's been. I mean, I didn't get a national one last year until April. So that was kind of stressful.
Yeah.
To figure out. So
So I'd say reach out to the library and to the American Legion and to maybe the Sierra and
okay.
see, even the Mail Center might have some.
But I also would reach out to Jared because I don't know, like, I don't know why the mall would be against bringing someone from the Sierra in. I don't think that they would, right? Like, they just like to have,
Yeah. When does the Helsingin Theater move to?
Well, they've already ground broke, it's a couple years out.
It's still, okay, I was just thinking you could be like, they're big and out there.
You talk to Cody over it. Awesome.
okay, well, I'll ask, I'll connect with you after this.
well, are you need the name for the library?
Yeah, are you,
I know with the library,
Oh, I-
as far as maybe Bryce is over there.
I'm taking notes already.
I
I'll,
will connect with
Yep.
you.
we'll get some good asks out there. It'll be perfect.
Sweet, cause yeah, I think it'd be fun and like, I don't know, we went to like a thing in the city of Harriman where they did like a children's market that was kind of fun. And I thought like maybe that would be fun, but, cause then it could be like Orem, but somehow have it around Orem's like.
Well, we're known for our orchards, or our former orchards.
Yeah.
And or
They got very
on.
I don't know, I mean, in my mind, give out fruit, I don't know. That'd be fun.
Well, that'd be fun.
Toss out apples. for the
Or do like a
neighbors.
art, you know, how like they like do potato art or whatever.
Yeah, or I wonder even if it like, if we did something like, you know, those art classes where they like have the teacher that like walks you through how to paint something. Like,
Okay,
you can do it on YouTube, but yeah, like.
Oh, that'd be
something-
hilarious.
I wouldn't mind doing it, but like something fun like that for the community that would
The
be
paint
like.
night would be fun, but then you have to like, you have like, you have to get out the kits, you have to get out like.
Oh,
the whole- So they'll have to bring their own canvas and their own paint, but you have to be able to have enough to, even if you just had for the first 1,000, but at least it'd be great. the first 1,000 people got.
Or if we
canvas.
did like a coloring page with like something, I don't know.
Yeah.
So they could color while they were listening to the storyteller or, but like a lot of people came last year and I had a lot of people like say how much they loved it.
It was nice that, was it Texas Roadhouse giving out like the sunglasses and little other doodads and stuff?
Yeah, the peanuts. sucked, though.
Oh,
Dude, the peanuts was
Yeah, the
awesome.
big-
Those were huge headphones.
We cannot do peanuts.
Yeah,
Peanuts were terrible for
Peanuts
that.
are off limits.
yeah.
Because too many allergies.
Oh, no.
Not
that,
that,
that's
that is bad.
People were cracking them and left them all over because we had to clean up afterwards and we were picking up peanut shells
Okay.
for a long time.
Definitely, there was something looked like a spoon, like a sort of, they brought, was it some, they had something else too.
Yeah, and like,
Nice.
like we went to the lights on thing for Orem this year, you know,
They
and
do a little
they
light.
did another light on thing.
Our
and,
trees were funny.
all the kids were like, this is the best part. So I'm like, I wonder if we could save on the storyteller and do some sort of light up, something they can do.
Anything they
The
can fire.
fireworks or something that night.
Well, fireworks will be for people.
Well, right, but they could use it like throughout Summerfest or whatever, like, I don't even know.
Yeah, I love that. Something for the kids to watch because sometimes they're just not very paying attention.
Yeah,
But
but
and then if you have to have food, the one, was it SPARS that had our
preschool.
preschool and the thing,
So
and that was
they-
great.
There was like a whole thing with them last year about they wanted more money. So maybe, because I think the budget went up a little bit, so maybe we can figure it out with FARS, but I know we talked about like maybe getting ice cream sandwiches from Costco and passing those out, or.
Yeah.
I don't know. I also had way too many volunteers last year.
There's no such thing as free volunteer, do not say that.
I know.
I think a prepackaged ice cream
Like,
is
so
always
when
gonna be a
complained that
good.
there wasn't enough work to do, I was like, next year we'll just go bigger.
I work for you.
A quick ice cream novelty is always a hit, you know, I mean, even just a popsicle.
Even if we did something like that, I mean, and I can connect with Jared, last year, it was kind of hard to get vendors from the mall to volunteer to come, because it was only like $250 stipend that they got
For their time.
for their food.
Oh, we got things like that.
Yeah.
So
I bought that too.
I feel like, we can figure something out. I think if we figure out the storyteller first, right? So yeah, I'll connect with you and get some local people and start sending out feelers, and then I'll just call Sam. I've been emailing him, but he's like really busy.
And he may have friends that would do it with him.
Yeah,
I think it was Sam Payne and Friends when he did it.
yeah, and they've done the band like the last
Yeah,
3
yeah.
years, and everyone really likes them. I think they're a good fit, especially for that. So yeah, I don't know if those are my ideas.
Sounds like a great idea.
Okay. Okay, student marches and spirit winners. So spirit awards, I don't know, but if I remember in the past, he has like put out like a social media, like a request for, suggestions, request for
Nominations.
Nominations, thank you. I'm assuming it's a deadline yet?
Probably not,
Probably
yeah.
not, okay. When does he come back?
He's on intermittent for like 3 months,
Okay,
so,
so it'll be a while, so, but I could email him.
but he is working from home several hours a day.
Okay.
So yeah, if you email him, that'll be great.
And then student marshals, so I had sent out that email. I sent everybody, asking, about adding in the whole school, so I added in Mazer and Marcus. I've heard back from all of the schools except Marches, and I don't put in my school to harass them, I just don't give that much effort to it. So, my next on my to-do list is just to get, works. One of the schools actually just like resent me their works, and I was like, okay, thank you very much for reading my mind, appreciate that. But I have names for all of the students. There is one conflict or one name that they're looking in replacement for, because I followed up with all of them and sent me, because some of them sent me just like phone numbers or email addresses, or contact and all, and I'd be like, I just need to make sure that these students really do live in Orem, we've got so many quarters, you know. And one, they emailed back, so one of our students really is in Vineyard, but he's still in the Orem Junior boundaries. And I said, you know what, this is not an Orem Junior celebration, this is Orem City celebration, and we want some Orem City. So, they said they're gonna work on trying to find someone else, and I figured I wasn't gonna fight them if they came back and said, we really want him, I'm gonna care, but right now we're pending with that one student, but otherwise we have, so 14 students, I think, 12 or 14, I don't know off the top of my head, but, and then we'll get that, you know, with the,
And they are the ninth graders,
Ninth?
because last year we had 12th graders that they submitted.
We got it fixed, but
I'll double check on that too. Thanks for pointing that out. I will
Was
check
that-
on the ninth.
obviously that's
They
from
did
the.
do older kids and then they did do kids up in Eagle Mountain.
Like, yeah, from schools that are too far back and too far roots. Most of the schools end at ninth grade. I appreciate that. Heads up, I'll double check on that one, just to be sure. Okay. And Ashlie with the pool party. She didn't email me an update, she emailed you an update, okay. We'll wait till next month for that.
There was stuff on Kenneth's thing, right?
About the party?
So,
She said that
wanted to have a booth and do that, let's see.
they just want to have more resources.
Yeah.
Yeah, it started later.
Okay, so it's 7 p.m.
7.
Yes.
Orem Community Hospital sponsoring and providing pool games, indoor prizes, Woolf.
Oh yeah, I think it'd be fun to have more games there.
So what she's doing, yeah, so she's working with, or I don't know if she's working with or just like getting ideas from, but Taylor Orthodontics or Thompson Orthodontics, actually they are partnered with Berry Family Dental, which is where my sister goes to, like Ekins, and so we go to their pool party. So what she's saying, I was like, that sounds so much like a pool party I go to. So they do their pool party in London, and it is all of those things. It is games and prizes and interactive and loud music and so much fun and completely ignorant. But still,
Some of them.
it is so much fun. No.
Is the DQ not bringing out their?
I think that they might.
It takes a while for them to access security.
DQ is not the best at
English.
communication.
They usually.
I was gonna say, I do remember this.
We usually.
But that's all-
do
that-
May,
that
and
is
that's for
always
both
really-
the pool party and the VIP.
I was gonna say, keep those for the.
Yeah.
So she wants to try and make it similar to that pool party, and I think she's.
Music and fun is.
No, I know she's
There's
doing
one
it.
I all of that, making it more of a party.
So fun, like how they have that little like prize thing that they do, or even like the wall where you go fiction. Like that would be fun.
That's
We need to order the stuff now.
In theory,
I believe in it.
I'm sure she's got covered. Bill.
One note on that one, if I can. We're not allowed to play music at that pool
Okay.
unless we get prior permission from the shell.
Oh, okay.
And so,
And I think they usually try and do it, they would usually do a pool party on, oh no, the pool party does conflict, because they have shows on Tuesday.
and it's 7 to 9 o'clock. And so that could be, I'm not sure, I haven't checked the shell's schedule for that week, and maybe they have a Summerfest special week, or maybe they go really big or really small, I'm not sure, but
The shell is serious though. Their season has to sell out in like 15 minutes.
Yeah. so, and we don't want to rock that boat. So we could do a lot for that, but maybe not music. Which sometimes I know kills the vibe. But we can do prizes, we can still have an MC, we could find a way to add some programming to it. We'll have the new splash pad this year, so that should be fun, but
Wait, are they in the splash pad this year?
yes,
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that.
other one,
Will it still be inside of the fence?
yes, yeah, still part of the syrup.
Okay, but thanks for bringing that up. Maybe we should think about in the future, switching the pool party to Wednesday, so we don't have that conflict.
Yeah.
How we get to the future thoughts.
Wednesday nights they do the summer movies though.
So you get this there and so the shelters, like.
To like be on board with that.
But they only, they don't
do
do the movie
Till
until,
dusk.
yeah.
Oh, okay, so then if the party goes from 7 to 9, then that would be a conflict.
Yeah, and they only do the movie like, don't they do it like every other week or once a month or something? I don't think they do it every week.
So we should look at that for next year. We should look at switching the pool party to Wednesday so that we can do music also. Or, I mean, I don't know.
We could even switch
Yeah,
it
I
this year.
know,
My party is not in conflict.
Because the mall said that they're flexible.
The mall is, that whole week is reserved.
I think we're gonna have to keep the car show if we stay with JC Hack on.
Oh, on Wednesday.
Because he is so booked the rest of the week.
You got a bigger
There's no
problem.
way.
You got a bigger problem on
party
Tuesday.
out for sure.
So Michelle doesn't have anything yet on the calendar for that, for June, maybe we ought to check and see if they can either.
I'm just
Leave that
texting
day
now.
off.
June 20th.
Yeah, I was gonna say, reach out to Adam, he'll know, and
2023 this year.
I'm sure they've already have a schedule.
that. I can't find my email, but I know.
But, yeah, I'm gonna say,
Bill
Mary
said
Poppins
that there
are
was
really
Mary
weird.
Poppins.
We'll just go to Sears.
Yeah, I wanna try it.
That's right.
Oh, yeah, that comes out in big March, April. comes out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it comes out like the last week of March, is
Yeah.
what he said.
Okay. But more than likely they already have it.
They have something in mind,
Okay.
I'm sure.
And they probably would lose a lot of money if they took off one night show just to continue.
Yeah.
No, they
Yeah, I don't know.
It's not good that to the Sarah.
It
We're
would
not
not
too bad.
I mean, we could get tambourines or something. Play a little.
I wonder, like, for the kickoff party, should we see if the Sierra has like a play or something that's coming and they could do like a.
Yeah.
A little like mini,
Okay.
a little mini skit
Okay,
or something.
Thank you. I say we see what happens.
All of those are good options to try, yeah.
Okay.
Do you have Adam's number?
Well,
I think I have Adam's number.
The other Ashley, not this Ashley, is doing it.
Yeah.
Oh, she's talking.
But I'm talking about my party,
Right.
for my party,
Getting
like, it might be fun to partner with the Sierra.
That'd be awesome.
I'll have to check the library and have the Sierra.
Yes.
See what comes out. Which one's easiest?
Sounds great. Okay. Now, we're gonna go.
With winter schnitzel hot dogs, I think we're working still on pies, or good to go.
Very good.
You waiting for the Smiths grant to come?
We usually get Harmon's last.
Yeah, we
time.
have Parsons Pines for the last 2 years.
So I don't know if working on it, so.
Okay, the Grand Parade, is currently a vacant seat on the committee. Do you know if they are going to try and fill that seat? I am happy to step back into that role and do the Grand Parade again. I'm not, and kids really want me to do the.
Can I just
parade
say,
super bad?
Take her up on her offer, she knows what she's doing. Say yes, yes, thank you, thank you.
I'm getting conflicting messages, but,
Ready to fill the vacancy, so. if
We have a
you
full
feel
team.
they were-
Yes, but then you can train.
Yes.
yep,
Liz,
is
why don't
both,
you
is
ask
both
Laura?
okay?
She said she would love to be an assistant, but not the head person.
Are you kidding?
Yeah,
I will send Laura a text.
you should ask.
Laura would be very fun.
She would be really.
Okay,
That'd be
so
great.
I will plan on doing the parade, so, on that regard, I already have 5 applications that have come in using last year's link, which tells me that the link is still active on the Summerfest website. I haven't actually gone to the join myself, but the applications that have come in make me chuckle because it still says 2022. Did we renew a contract with, Parade Cloud?
I believe so.
Okay, then we need to set up the parade. Now, Steven's always done that in the past. I'm sure it doesn't look like it's terribly challenging to set up. But, and I don't mind looking into that, or if you would prefer to just set it up, either way is great with me on the parade cloud.
Do you have logins and everything on the administrative side?
I have logins and I don't
Okay.
know what level of administration there is, so.
Maybe you and I can talk after and some combination of that. Let's get you the tools and if I need to create sort of a
Because I'd like to. get-
general 23 event and then we can start to get specifics in there.
People are used to applying by like in February, and so,
Okay.
I would like to get that open ASAP. That sounds great.
That'd be great. And then you could maybe catch me up on the process you use to select which entries come in or something like that, so we could support you on the inside of that. Perfect.
Sounds great. And that's it. So now the sports staff reports, so that's you.
Great. I have 2 items, and both will probably elicit a little bit of discussion. The first one, our city legal team received a letter from the Wisconsin Summerfest letting us know that Summerfest is trademarked and that we cannot use it.
Did we ever find out how much it would cost if we did?
Then, so they reached back out to, very serious, and we were all equally floored. But it is, and they had it, and they have the trademark. They offered to license it to us for a small fee and are of too much. And so it was Steve Earle, our city attorney's suggestion, essentially to look at it. It technically was an option, but he was very concerned about the language used in the agreement that they were willing to give us because it opened us up to a portion of every single vendor and every single boutique and every single, and they just weren't comfortable with it. It was not sustainable for what we had. So
We call it only dust.
So the
Anyway.
question was, what do we call it? And I met with our acting city manager, Brent Bybee, and he, I guess, generally it's been called the Orem Family Summerfest, and so he had wondered, can we just shorten it very simply to Orem Family Fest or something very close, specifically for 23, and then also if we need to do something longer, what are we comfortable with for 23 if we want to like really dive into this?
Change all the signage. though?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Or Orem Summer Festival.
They even looked at Orem Summer Space Fest.
Okay.
And didn't work. So there are a couple of options. I don't think there was no appetite for a big change to something big. The question is Orem Summer Festival, Orem Family Fest, Orem Fest.
I don't remember the fancy.
So can I just say that we added Family USA to all of our
Yes.
taglines, all of our letterhead. So I think family needs to be part of that. If it's Family Fest or Orem Family Fest, that's important. And we just added that, so.
And maybe if I could, as y'all are sort of thinking and initially sort of thinking about it, are there any strong reactions to something you absolutely don't want? Is there something that I'm not thinking of where it's like, we just can't do this? Or, oh, West Jordan is already the Orem Fest for some reason. You know, is there something that we should be aware of that feels like we really need to guide this discussion in a particular direction?
What about Orem Summer and Family Fest?
That's too
I mean,
long.
I'm-
It needs to be something touch.
So if you go Orem Family Fest, we're all gonna still call it Summerfest. I mean,
Yeah.
it's gonna be referred to that, we'll know it.
Orem Fest is good, yeah.
But Family Fest or
What's
Orem
worse
Fest.
is like, it's just families, so what I say.
Would you get some?
Yeah, it's fine. I'll send it to the city.
I wonder how they found out about it in the first place, but it's all making sense. He's over here making $2 a report.
Well, I would recommend you add family.
Yeah.
Add family to the title, whether it's first, middle.
No, I think Family Fest, Orem Family Fest, I mean.
Other cities do Summer Fest, I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, I think several entities received the same letter.
So Logan's one of them.
Yes, yes.
How long
Yeah,
have we been
that's
using
a
the name Summerfest? Cedar Hills has Family Festival.
Yeah. But it's the trademark.
Because we could be making money off of Cedar Hills by this time next year.
Well, so,
Just-
So I don't know that it's not gonna be used by anybody else and it's short.
Every whole letter
Still
is-
keep this
Well,
back.
this is even tagline, family city, serving families. I don't
so a
know.
lot of other cities have like something days, where we just had summer days, Orem Summer days, versus like Strawberry days.
And what does it Orem like Central Fiesta Day?
Yeah, so all the days, I need a day, summer days.
Orem Summer
Someone's Strawberry Days.
Yeah.
Someone's.
I really think, yeah, Orem Fest, nobody seemed to.
Orem Fest. Yeah, I think Orem Fest.
Like Orem Fest too
Keep
close.
it short, it makes, the
The branding.
branding is easy, the publishing, the stuff Pete does, I can't think of the word, my brain is gone.
Okay.
The marketing, it makes it easy because it's short, it's easy to do, it's not long and big. I think keeping it short and easy.
Well, I'm just gonna tell you, my council's gonna want it to be family in there somewhere.
Okay. Family days?
I mean, well, no, I like Orem, and we can call it Orem Fest, but the official title probably needs to be Orem Family Fest.
But in the short version,
Can be Orem.
Orem Fest.
We are so
On our
emphasizing family.
banners, on our banners, will it say Orem Family Fest?
Well,
But the,
I don't know.
the
Well, the magazine can have it.
acronym for Orem Family Fest is often, that sounds terrible.
Yeah, that sounds really bad.
Family Orem, I don't know.
I think if we included the new logo, but all branding should have the Family City USA in there. I mean, I like the Family Fest as well, but Cedar Hills is like the same county, and the dates are very similar. Almost like the week before.
Okay, well, somehow add the Family USA, Family City, whatever.
Even put like Orem Fest Family City USA.
Yeah, something, I don't care. Add the family however you want, as a subline, as a tagline, I don't care.
Because Orem doesn't have like properties.
What are
We used to be orchard.
He is
Orchard days.
Orchards are all now gone until.
Orchard days.
Family orchard days.
It's a childhood or
That's one of the
days.
high school mascots either.
No.
No, I get one.
Cedar Hills is also our same weekend.
I mean, like that this year.
Cause that's why with the car show, we tried to switch your air and have it, it's doing your health. They'll be proud of all the things back here.
Okay, definitely not from like us. I like Orem Fest. I like the summer days.
Sounds
I like
good.
Orem Fest the best. I think everyone already calls it Orem Fest.
Yeah, fest is definitely the strongest part of the branding. Yeah, I think if we went to a days, I feel like that could confuse people, but because the fest is,
Keep the
that's
fest.
one.
Yeah.
So we do just form
Late
fest.
spring fest. No.
Congratulations, school. It's the school's out party, the summer party.
Well, those
Sure.
are change the stuff, but we're gonna still call.
Yes.
I want to withdraw my previous comment because South Jordan has Summerfest. Logan has Summerfest. So we've already operated in a market with multiple Summerfests. So I think following council's direction, I think Family Fest goes right along with some of our goals in the city. And so I see a value in adding. It's going to, any change to it's going to be a little different, but we already, there's already more than one Summerfest.
But
Go down
Logan
the
and South Jordan are the same week.
well,
They're all really close.
Are they really?
yeah, Logan is.
This is the bigger problem for Cedar Hills than it is for us too.
Cedar Hills is a lot.
Big kids run the block.
How about the bigger family fest?
Yeah.
Well, that.
Sorry, that was.
Debbie, we are on recording. Our friends in Cedar Hills deserve the respect.
I'll talk to the mayor.
Generally though, it sounds like we can workshop a few, but that is why we'll have the change. And I think we will look for the quickest possible change for the 23 event without a big process. And if we want to tweak it in July for the 24, or talk on branding and some of that.
So we could, do maybe like a Google form to vote, so we can all. like-
Vote for the,
For 2023.
but for just for this group, right? Not a full
Yeah,
resident.
no,
Okay,
no, not for the city, I meant just like this, the committee, because like the people who aren't here tonight to share their opinion.
great.
So could we maybe just like send out some more ideas?
You know, I'm just writing and thinking, you guys said off is a bad brand or acronym, but off, you could give out bug spray. Some really funny things were off.
Okay, okay, so maybe like Warm Fest, Warm Family Fest, I don't think that's two main of it.
Orem Fest. Orem Family Fest is kind of a mouthful, but I get where you want.
That should be the official name. We can call it Worm Fest or whatever.
Because Fan Fest sounds pretty cool too. I sort of dig it, yeah.
Fam Fest.
Go ahead, order Fan Fest tonight, yeah.
Alright.
If you're okay, would y'all be all right if we do a similar straw poll with our council? See, make sure there aren't any like for sure no's on some of these names, and then we'll sort of maybe as a group come back and do one more final vote-y-ish something, but some combination of Family Fest, Summer, Orem, short, not getting rid of Fest, council goals. We all right with that? Okay. My second item is the hiring of a new staff member for the city. The city last week posted a full-time city events coordinator, and that position will in large part work to serve this committee. And so we will have someone that will be this and the lights on and touch a truck and several other events throughout the year. But a lot of the administrative responsibilities that y'all have, we'll have a full-time staff that will be here. So obviously your work is still incredibly valuable. Your vision, your hopes and desires for the event, I think will still be forefront to what this position does, but hopefully you'll have some really consistent administrative support and ideas on parking and line management. You know, that's where they'll really exist. So the job closes on Friday. It posted last Friday. It closes this Friday. We have a lot of applications, and I have been thrilled with the quality of our applicants so far. Yeah, so really exciting to see. If you have people that are interested, it is posted online right now, Orem Jobs. But a great group so far, and I think this will bring a level of consistency and simplicity for some of the, specifically the design and admin tasks that y'all have as part of your event.
Very cool.
So there is a possibility that that person is at our March meeting hired, maybe if not April. But hopefully, I mean, we're doing a quick job posting and a quick interview cycle so that we can get them here with 3 months lead time to the event.
That'd be fun. Then I always assume that Steven just only has somebody that's around.
Yeah.
Probably don't know.
We're very fortunate. Brigham Young University has an incredible experience design program. And so before I was with Orem, I was in Provo and we had a full-time events team. And we constantly got really quality applicants because they're here, they want to stay local. And so I wasn't sure how this job posting would go, but we're seeing already just, I think we've got 30-ish candidates, but like 5 of them with full-time experience of like 3+ years in municipal or large corporate events. So exactly.
Rose Bowl parade experience.
So those were my 2 items.
Very cool. All right, let's go back to Kenna's email. She updated on a few different things. Let's see, she was talking about the National Day of Prayer. They are going to have 2 events. There's going to be the Night of the Tabernacle, which is on April 26th, and that is going to be down in Springville. And then also the National Day of Prayer, Night of Prayer, which is going to be on May 4th here at the Orem Library Hall. And both of those things are going to be mentioned in the magazine that Heath sends out. And she also sent out the sponsor updates, which we've all seen. Is there anything else from me?
I have a question. Will this new events person be the sponsor person doing the work with sponsors?
For 23, we'll probably play it as support everywhere, but maybe potentially that. And then we'll look to this group in our, late summer debrief to say what makes sense for this person to take on and do all that.
Sorry.
No, you're okay.
Gotta take this in and
It's the season.
okay, and then, so that's Kenna's update. Okay, Patrick.
Yeah, we've got this up on the screen here, the key points that I wanted to make. I was able to dive into this in greater detail. I didn't have much to share in the first meeting, but I just wanted to make you all aware of what the expense budgets are for this year. Please make note of that and do your absolute best and not overspend that expense budget. I included,
That's what I was just trying to do.
I provided the column of your actual expenses from last year, just so that you can kind of see where you were last year and what we're offering now. I don't know if you want to take the time to go through each line item. I figured you could just see that and make note of it for your own reference.
Useful if you need help.
So expenses, 22 is C and budget is 23 right there.
Also important to note the revenue column there, those are the values that we're expecting to be made in your respective areas. So let's make sure that we hit those targets. Another thing that I felt I needed to mention, some of you have small budgets. For example, the boutique is only $500. That's not money that you can spend, but it's going to cover credit card transactions. So if there's any adjustments that need to be made, in fact, let me go over to that. I've got a separate page for credit card transactions in particular. Let's see here, stripe summary, boutiques, car show, food vendors. I believe, Jim, you're over that. Parade and pool party all have credit card transaction expenses that you need to account for. They never go over $500. So as long as you keep that in mind, in the back of your mind, just make sure that that money remains intact for those expenses. Other than that, if you find that you need more money than we have allocated for you, make sure and email me and let me know what your additional needs or requests are. And I'll plan on running that by you, Liz, and Bryce, just to make sure that you're in the loop and know what's going on. But I would ask that let's do it in an email so it's something that's documented and I have a history of it. don't just run up to me and say, hey, I need this. It's easy and we have a lot going on and it's easy to forget that stuff. So please email me. I think that's on the sheet. You're welcome to, if that's my cell number, I'm okay with a text as well, just as long as it's something that I can go back to and reference if I'm not playing any.
It doesn't look like your cell phone.
I have not provided myself. Do I want to do that, Jill?
Just your emails can be
Email should be fine.
Is 6,000 enough for you?
So I am really curious what my money was spent on last year.
Yeah, we can look at that.
Yours is the kickoff, is that right?
Mhm.
Let's see.
Cost.
I bet it was mostly like,
It's probably a storyteller.
yeah, the storyteller and his like hotel and,
Chick-fil-A, the Churro Company, Sam Payne, Bill Lepp.
yeah. So I think if we do someone local, I mean, I feel like we could still offer something great for them.
Unless
to
you
come
need to
and
put
do.
more money toward food, let's be honest.
Yeah,
That
'cause-
is lame.
Yeah,
What
yeah,
time is the party at?
Oops.
good question.
Is it 6?
I think it normally starts at 6. I was actually really interested. So I have a lot of friends that came out to the party last year that had never come before that told me that they spent a lot of their time inside the mall food court getting food and bringing it out into the area like where all this stuff was going on. And no, I got a lot of feedback that just like the food places that came, that like wasn't appealing enough. If they had come and they didn't know someone that was doing something, they wouldn't have stayed. So I want to try to figure out something that's more appealing for that area. So I might need to like touch base with Jared because the mall has expanded so much. Is there like a pizza place in there or something that like maybe because they got one in the food court, right? Like someone that might be able
I've
to
been there for a long time.
like facilitate more food easily, or even like if Chick-fil-A can bring their cute little drive-through over or something. I
I'm
don't know.
thinking like if it's gonna be at dinner time, it needs to be more than just a snacks.
Yeah,
Or it needs to be advertising that come bring your family's picnic, or something that's like,
yeah.
because you're right, otherwise you're spending all your time.
Oh, they like one of my friends that came with her kids that were older, that were teenagers. She was like, for me it was hard because I wanted to listen to the storyteller, but then like I had to go with my kids into the mall to get food, and then it was a whole ordeal to like get my teenagers back outside to the party. Oh, so that's why I was like what do we? I gotta figure out something to keep that.
I just have a really important question for you to ask them all.
And it did start at 6:30.
6:30.
That's right.
I think that anything in the 6 o'clock hour would still, you still want to think about dinner.
Yeah.
Can you confirm with them all, and this is just my opinion, that, this is law, that gates to the splash pad area needs to be opened for access to the restrooms. Oh, I forgot, they put in restrooms, never mind, they put in restrooms on that main hallway. Because if we had to walk all the way through that, like down to get in the restroom, but I forgot, they put in restrooms in that hallway.
Yeah. So it's okay.
In our restroom, okay.
Okay.
Well, I would advise you to spend more money on food and maybe find a couple $1,000 for a storytelling.
Yeah. And if it's someone local, like a lot of Bill's expense was like, I know we covered half of the flight, half of the car rental, stuff like that. So even if we could still give our storyteller, if it was someone local, like 1,500 or something, and then put that rest into bringing food in, because that was like, I have several families that told me that it was hard for them.
Since you're at the mall, there's a lot of food choices, just.
Yeah. And even my kid, who I think went into the mall with your kid, it was hard to go back out.
Well, I remember the churro company kept running out of churros, and
Oh,
that was so annoying.
Frustrating.
That was,
They have a line up so
yes,
much.
that, like, so many people were.
Yeah, I didn't even get one.
Well, and that having individual lines was so hard too.
Yeah.
If you wait in the line, you finally get something and they're like, I gotta go with that.
And then they all kind of like transected into the middle section where everyone was supposed to be sitting for the story.
Yeah,
right.
You can float up over.
Well, and there's like the sidewalk was running out. You just have all the vendors face the sidewalk.
Yeah, so we did it off of like the mall and how they traditionally do their events. But I think I might just see if I can go meet with Jared, and like last year he sent out a bunch of emails and stuff to the like the food vendors at the food court, but I'm wondering if I went and was like, hi, I'm this annoying girl from Summerfest, and you wanna come and sell all your pizza? Oh, sorry.
Orem Summerfest.
Yeah, and we can give you more than $250 sometimes. Like even Chick-fil-A, if they could bring their little drive-through over there, people will golf cart that they have. They're so fast.
Excuse me, I have to go. There's some ambassador I have to meet.
Oh,
Thank
fun.
you, thank you, thank you. You guys are fabulous. This is my last year on council, so
Oh,
we need to make this
the best.
the best of friends. I love serving you. I'm sorry, please excuse me and feel free to, I have opinions on everything, so.
So since you're running out, Debby, do you want to give your quick, like, if there's anything to know?
I think Columbus City USA is very important emphasis for us this year. Family activities, family things, think families in mind when you're planning, okay? That's very important for our kids this year. Thanks,
Thank you.
and thank you, everyone.
In that regard, what she just said, it reminded me that one big concern that I had for as a family was the carnival having 0 opportunities for children under this size.
Got it.
There are a significant number of people in the city of Orem under this size, and it was very rough having nothing, like, oh, you can't ride on this toddler ride because you're not 7. Yep. It was
Like, that's a big
so
problem.
hard. It was so hard.
Yeah,
Do you remember the
I
height?
heard a lot of complaints last year about, they would sell the packet tickets to parents with a whole bunch of little kids.
Yes, and then they
And
can't
then
use
they
them.
couldn't go on anything,
Yes, yep.
and then they would go back and try to get a refund,
And they
and it
wouldn't
was
get
a
them.
big fight.
Yep.
Yeah.
I had the exact same thing happen to me, and it is not.
Great. I can follow up with the vendor. Was it 36 inches, 48 inches?
It was probably 36.
Or taller.
I think 36.
And maybe I can just
And
ask
don't
the
think it has
vendor.
to change. think
I,
it's
I actually
Lower
have
and
a
lower, I
picture
saw
of
all
the
the
sign.
Okay.
I'll try to find it and forward it to
I think there was one little train thing that if he rode next to someone, he could ride on by himself. But every single one of the other ones, they're typically considered the toddler rides, like a little like boat that sits in the water thing, that they got the one up splashing it. He was not like that. Yeah. And I don't think we have her, so he's still playing. Yeah, exactly. My 10-year-old that's the size of a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
So that's rough. Yeah, the height restriction was, and I understand they need it for liability, but find something that can be available because there's too many people in the city.
Or like those, we wash or whoever want to come do their little car wash.
Yes, but that's not enough for the
Well,
outskirts
true,
people, and you can't have just one option. Like he wrote an out thing, but he saw it and he wanted on that one and that one. And there's something like I need to tell him no to, but there's ones I'm like, why the heck? It's fine. Like,
Yeah.
I need more kid rides too. I think you said you have more kid rides, you're just gonna bring sort of the other event. But it doesn't mean the site's gonna be any different, it just means there's more kid rides, they can't ride them.
that's the
You gotta
problem.
find that out,
There has to be more stuff that's available at any height.
Can I ask a question, maybe a suggestion? It looks like our budget last year, we only spent, I don't know what the equipment rental budget is, Tim, you're over that.
Probably gonna be lots this year.
That's what I wanted to ask you for. Just throwing that out there, is there any room for like, maybe we offer a free bounce house and a few smaller things that our kids like.
Jason Adamson will tell you no about
No,
that.
no,
No city bounce.
There's a ton of money in that new equipment rental budget. I don't know, maybe on our end, we can explore some ideas for kid-friendly options. I don't know.
What would the carnival people get angry about the fact that you're offering kid friendly stuff? You would say it's only for 36 and under, like only for people who can't ride on the ones?
Yeah, or if there's something in their contract saying.
Let me reach out, because I would assume there is a non-compete for a single entertainment provider. But we need to look at
But I
that.
mean, if they're not gonna provide something for
Yeah.
a little bit like that.
But I wonder if it's an on-off. You either take us
Yeah.
or not.
Right.
And so let me just look at the agreement and see what we have.
And it's hard to find an alternative, right?
Yes, this is not a competitive marketplace. If we're here 2 years ago and then a year ago, this.
Yeah, it seemed like last year there was one option,
Yep.
right? Which was
Yep.
Could you bring the thing back up on the screen there? Because I had a few more questions I wanted to ask about the.
You want to go to the main one?
While he's looking that up, last year, they had 3 height requirements. One was at 36 inches, one was at 42, and one was at 48. And in there, where they sold the tickets, and I'll forward these 2 photos, where they sold the tickets, there's this one little small line item that mentions anything about certain tickets with height requirements. It was very in my opinion, very deceiving. Yeah.
And really, really frustrating.
Yeah.
Really frustrating. Okay, so on the parade, so, Vanessa is no longer with the parade. What I'm seeing there is that 12,000 was spent on this year. Is that because of all those new banners that we created last year?
We could go to that expense sheet.
Because I'm just wondering if we're gonna be bringing a bunch of banners this year.
I was gonna say, do they all say
They did a
Summerfest?
big part of the banners, all those new tall.
No, they don't, those didn't say Summerfest on them, did they? Did they just say what that awards were? I can't remember, I didn't. Oh,
Just like all those new ones, we're gonna have to replace everything we did
But I
last year.
can't remember if those new ones actually said Summerfest, they did.
So, I think so.
And those were so lovely too, I like them.
Every
The
banner we have.
expenses
they
look
have to
much
be
less.
Total revenues.
Than what is represented on the sheet. I'll have to look into that and see where there's, I do know that on November 11th, Steve Mounds jumped in here and started typing numbers in. Didn't take any account in what formulas were linked to other sheets. And so Reed and I were like scrubbing this crazily
Okay,
today
so,
to
so
find
it might
errors.
not be as.
So
right.
that is not an accurate number
Okay.
based on your expense sheet.
Okay,
It looks like it was closer to 3,000-ish.
Okay. okay.
I might also mention that last year, I think I understand, was the first time we went to that different carnival and we got a huge influx of money. That's why you'll see our expenses last year at 84 and we're now planning on a budget of 133. I think last year we had an excess of 52,000-ish. So there is some flexibility, but we have tried to build that into your budgets for this year, so.
Well, I'm noticing that Peay has a giant budget this year.
Right.
And I think that's just probably extra money, but we'll have to do that to rebring all the banners. And I don't know who else.
That may
uses
be for
banners, like,
rebranding, the new family city USA logo.
Oh, that
And
makes sense too.
this initial preliminary budget was put out there by CEO. I haven't touched anything yet, because I wanted to kind of get my feet wet and see what you guys thought. Another thing I noticed that was interesting is this is the first time we've put its own line item in for pie eating and hot dog eating contest. And I don't know that they have expenses.
They don't.
I'm thinking we probably need to remove that line item. I don't see a need for that, but I'm gonna check with you first.
With all this slush from last year, we're probably gonna use a lot of it up because every banner we have is on Summerfest.
Right.
Yeah,
It's gonna wipe everything out,
and
everything.
that's probably why Pete's budget's 17.5.
Yes.
It's gonna be.
And before we go throw away all of our old budgets, let me make sure that we don't have, maybe we have a 3-year, maybe it's by 2027. You know, I'm not sure, but let's not throw away perfectly good banners. Yes. Yeah.
Was it that bad to put them together?
They did. Right there.
Building banners.
I did not.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Okay, we spent a long time on budget. Anything else?
Well, but if you have anything else that you want to dive into your budget more, feel free to call me or email me. I'll help you.
I do have one question about mine. Because like the mall does bouncy houses and all that stuff, and it sounds like not here. So when I asked you, Jared, no bouncy houses. Do we do like face painting the night that they do Orem Got Talent and stuff like that? Like
But I'm trying to tell you one thing about talent, like that's in the boutiques, because that's on Friday night. The face painting that's with the kids class is only on Thursday, so if you did it on Wednesday also, that would not be available.
I'm trying to think of
Thursday
what
and Saturdays.
I don't think they don't do the free face painting. The free face painting is only on Thursday, because there's face painters in the boutiques, so they can't offer free face painting on Friday.
Okay, so I need to find out like food and activity.
But they could do it at yours.
Yeah, that would not be a problem.
They could do face painting, I think, so because I know like the mall hosts so many different events, I just need to find out. That'd be really specific contracts about.
We just gotta make sure we have the budget for it, because it is
Yeah.
kind of expensive.
Yeah, so we can find a storyteller that's local, I feel like that's gonna save
We
us.
should ask Amy, because maybe her face painter will want to do both Wednesday and Thursday,
Oh, that's a good idea.
and her blue tire.
But I gotta make sure that they can be contacted at the mall, because the mall only uses the vendors from. I don't think they have to explain that.
Okay, thank you. Right, Tim, Tom.
Nothing really much going on right now. Yeah, his concern was we had to talk about the VIP parking lot being too small last year.
Oh, yeah.
I need to know what kind of space more we're looking for. 20 stalls enough, or I need to go the whole It's on the parking lot of the Rex, on the fitness center, or not the friendship center, or what guys do there?
I also just wanted to draw attention to the construction timeline of this facility. There will be significant parking restrictions on this entire parking lot going in place during this event.
Like both, like the front.
It will be,
Whole south side.
it will be a staging area and I don't know the exact number of stalls, but
Well, I'm looking up on the friendship center mainly where we.
Okay.
The VIP parking, and normally are the sponsored parking lot.
I would
Why do
suggest
that?
doing the entire senior friendship center parking for the VIP because it would give more space. But also, it's so dang hard to like get in there and get your car to turn the right direction.
I agree with that, but no, it's not that. I might have to cut it in half because they also get that big carnival and the general
Do you
patrons
have to have a
parking.
handicap in there?
There's 8 handicap, 10, 12 handicap at least, and then current.
But you could put some of them as the VIP, like at least use.
I can make it work if I really to make it work. I will expand the parking lot out probably at least maybe half of that south parking lot currently. I don't want to take up the whole parking lot just for the VIPs because it won't be full all the time.
Okay.
And so that'll
Empty parking
be a
spaces.
bad eye possibly on this. So I'll make it bigger. I just don't really how big we really need it to go, but I'll definitely do something else that's a little more favorable. We have more slots for us. So.
I love.
Other than that, I think we're still rolling forward what we're doing, so. If nobody else changes and it's a little closer, it'll be fine. Banners are concerned, they gotta get on the books pretty quick for buying new ones.
Yep.
Yeah.
I gotta make it made before the event starts too.
I think I had talked about that exact thing. We have the magazine and all that. I think this council meeting on the 28th, the
Yeah.
work session, they'll look to have that. And so we'll have all of March, April, May, which is still tight,
If we
but,
get one more year of a buffer, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
It would help out a lot, but.
or even allow anything that's printed with it to expire before we replace it. So we get to replace it over the next
They were
2, 3,
brand new
4
last
years.
year.
Oh, oh,
We spent a gravel on last year.
that's how bad the deal was to license it then. Yeah.
I think they should have gone back. for
Who
one
does
meeting,
the lights?
But yeah, if
Get
you
the
get another
lights
year,
on. Oh, sorry.
another year, have those banners, water girls, do.
Perfect.
Do you know who did like the lights on event this year? Like who had those little light up ones?
Christie Snyder bought those online, I think Oriental Trading.
Oriental Trading is probably,
We'll just put on all of them too.
Yeah, like
But
those little stickers.
Oriental Trading, I think should be done all of them.
So I wonder if we had something like that. I feel like they had so many extras. They were like passing them out everywhere.
Didn't have the crowd of the lights on, it was expected, but yeah, they had extras, but they had a lot of stuff to Oriental Trading, that's what you got.
That's what you got,
Look
okay.
at something like that.
'Cause I wanna look into something like that for my party, because they can add me fun.
Hey, Laura, we volunteers, you said you don't have any consistent.
I have so many, but this is what I manipulated my people a little bit last year with my wording on my posting.
I need help with.
I called them my party assistants, and I cannot tell you the amount of people that showed up expecting to do a lot of work. But I did not have a lot of work last year in my party. So I think if you say that they're your parade assistant, or give them some sort of,
Great, they won't.
Yeah, but it's hard to move around this year.
All week.
I wonder, like, is there something I infiltrating something? I don't know. Like Laura wants to come be on Summerfest for the swag bag, like what's the volunteer swag that they get? I don't know.
I will be bored again.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna change the wording. I thought it was great. They didn't want to do a crosswalk. That was like a hard thing to get. That like, and then they have to rotate out. It was funny because they're like adults, right? And it would be like, do I have to? Like I have some imaginary power over them. Like obviously you still have your freedom of choice, but I would love it if you could do it so I didn't have to. But I mean they all did it, so it's great. But yeah, I think I had like I didn't show up to volunteer. And yeah, and all I needed was they rotated out pretty good with the crosswalk, even though most of them didn't want to, and then they handed out water bottles. So like after the first 30 minutes, they were like done. Don't you think they were kind of just like, because you were helping out a lot too last year.
So we just have hashtag right of our recess, which is that. Okay, that's it for updates? Okay, perfect. We do not have someone for entertainment. What's the plan for that? Is that a new person?
That new person will be the primary point of assignment on here.
And that's generally been like the scheduling and staging.
Yep. Yeah, and they're ready for it. Yeah, they're ready for that.
Like, I know they're not here yet, but BYU Broadcasting is willing to do more. Like, do we have a sound engineer or anything like one?
Well, I know they have some set that they use for.
Cause like last year they brought in all the stuff for my party, set it up and then like booked it all out. So like really, all we had to set up last year for my party was the water. That was it.
Very cool.
So that might be a thing to, make it easier on a new person.
Okay, and then we have, Jason isn't here, he's not here, this management. He's signed for publicity, purchasing.
No updates for the group.
Jeremy's not here.
I have Jeremy on the Google
No.
presentation.
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah. So Tim, one of the questions I have for you, Tim, is you were talking about the VIP parking, and with that over at the senior center, we talked a little bit about having parking for the vendors so that they could be able to actually access their to be able to pack up once the carnival's over. Because again, we're shutting down. Center Street will be shut down until everybody's out of the park. And I know Steve and I talked a little bit about some type of strategic plays to be able to allow those that are getting upset with the police, including the city council, of not allowing them to be able to actually get on Center Street. And so I think, Bryce, what you and I need to do is we need to kind of sit down and kind of get up to speed now that Steve's not here, because we had a plan for the city council, but now with the building, I contacted Jason Adamson, and that whole section is going to be shut down, but I think we have a solution for them to be able to park so that they can leave. But then we also still need to talk about the pre-race. I can't remember who's doing it, but the race.
Kids on the move. Kids on the move or kids on the run.
Yeah. And so those are the things that I just want to kind of hash out. And I just want to make sure that whoever is setting up the vendors and whoever's accepting them, just make sure they know that they're not going to be able to access their trailers until we open up that street. And that street will not be opened until after everybody's out of the park. So as long as that precedent is made, because last year there were some people that were pretty upset that we weren't letting them out. And it's more of a safety issue more than anything. So Bryce, I'll give you a call and we'll
You and I can
base.
do a full sort of traffic plan for each of the nights of the event. Look at the parking, the exit, the unload, reload, all that. That sounds great.
Cool. Yep. And that's all I have.
Thank you. I'm gonna take from Heath. Okay, and then you already did it. So that's it. Okay, do we have a motion? I motion to adjourn. I motion to adjourn.
Yeah. I second that.
All in favor? All of us are still here. Yeah.